Hi, and welcome to this video about pinch harmonics or little screamers and how to do it on multiple strings, how to practice it so you get really good very fast. Let's look into pinch harmonics. Once we have control over the muting and the open, as we focused on in the previous video, we can start introducing more control over the sound. And when you do pinch harmonics, what you basically do is that you turn up the overtones of the song, of the sound or the note you're playing. And it sounds like this. And when you are using a distorted sound, these overtones become much more audible. You can also do it with a clean sound, if you use the bridge pickup, they'll be much more effective. So, how do you practice this? Well, first of all, you must have the other thing under control. You can start practicing riff after riff and trying to play it in a way that sounds really like the original, right? Or you can break down the skills of playing that riff and practice them individually and achieve results 10 times faster than you would if you practice several things at once. But we talked about that in the previous video, so please go watch that if you haven't already. When you practice pinch harmonics, you first do it on one string, and then you can go to multiple strings. But when I play a string and don't do pinch harmonics, it looks like this. And if you could see my hand up close, you don't need to, because if you could see it up close, you wouldn't see any difference when I start doing pinch harmonics. The movement is so slight. This is what I do with my hand. I turn it just a little bit towards like that, this way, because that makes my thumb hit the string right after the string hit my pick. And you can go, there's lots of free videos with total close-ups that will show you how to do pinch harmonics. We're talking about the downstroke pinch harmonics here. You can also do it with an upstroke. They sound a little differently, but it's basically a matter of your string hitting the pick and then your index finger on the way up, right? But the downstroke pinch harmonics is really practiced best in, put your PC bone where the low E string meets the bridge, as we talked about in the previous video, and then on your open notes, not the muted ones, on your open notes you can do, and you practice this by taking each individual string, having the hand in exactly the same position each time. PC bone, low E string meets the bridge, so you have the same reference point every single time. If you anchor your hand out here, or then you won't have the same reference point. And that means you have to look down all the time and try to navigate using visuals, which you can't because the movements are so minute. So this is a feeling thing. And when it's a feeling thing, your hand needs to be in exactly the same position each and every time, because that is the reference point for where you feel the string and where how it feels to do it right, basically. I hope that makes sense. But so make sure that your hand is exactly the same position each time, and then you start on the low E string. Maybe you need to pull your hand just a little bit back, because it depends on actually where you pick the string. When it comes to overtones, there are several. You have the basic vibrating of the string. If you have the string right here, right, it vibrates like up and down, like in its full length. But at the same time, the string actually vibrates like this as well. So if you cut the string in half, you would see that it has like this movement. All of the string goes up and down, but then it also has a movement that goes like number 8, on the middle, like that, a wave pattern. But then at the same time, and this creates an overtone that is 1 octave higher than the basic sound, right? But at the same time, the string also vibrates. In each half of it, there's another 8 going on, another wave. And that creates an overtone because it's half of half. So it becomes an overtone 2 octaves higher. And it goes on and on, right? But, I think. But, if you want to hit the right place, so you can see if you hit the half of the string, like That's very hard to do because we have a fretboard there. But if you divide it up like this, and then half of it would be here, then you would have a quarter right there, and that's why we hit it. But then if I fret the string right there in the 5th fret, then I have a whole different thing going on. I have like half of it is there, and then a quarter is like there, so I would hit it right there. Or the 8th. There. I'm not sure that's an octave. It sounds like, mayhem, but and you can't think about this. This is just theoretical knowledge or a mess of knowledge, basically. But what the practical aspects of it is trying your way through it, because you can't think of halves and quarters and eighths when you're playing. You have to, you have to actually be. You have to experiment with the pinch harmonic and with where to do it on the string down here. So you have to move your hand slightly back and forth, keeping the feeling of where the low E string meets the bridge with your PC bone. Hope that makes sense. But then you go from string to string like that. You take the A string. Right, and the D string. And the G. But keep your PC bone about in the same place. And the G. And as you go higher and higher, you get to even lighter strings. It becomes increasingly difficult to do the pinch harmonic, because the low E string here, it has big movements, because it's a low resonance, it's a low frequency, right? So it goes like this. It has the largest mass and it moves the slowest. And also, you can see it vibrate, right? And if you look at it, you can almost see it. Not almost, you can see that the E string has a bigger movement than the high E string, right? So, and that's why the pinch harmonic comes in. This is the string vibrating, right? And so you have to put your thumb just where it tops right there. And that's what creates the pinch harmonic. But then as you go down towards the lighter strings, the strings vibrate faster and doesn't have as much oscillation. I don't know the words here, but it doesn't go like this, it goes like this. And so the point where you have to hit it is much closer to the string. And you have to be more and more accurate the lighter the string is. And that's why it's much harder to do a pinch harmonic on the high E string. And you are in risk of muting the string completely. So please note that when you're practicing, that as you go higher, it becomes increasingly difficult. Do this for 2 minutes each day, and you want to add some. You want to add and not go back and forth like I just did. Stay on one string until you have control and go to the next. And this is, as I said, experimenting, feeling your way through it and creating about the same reference point all the time. This will absolutely make sure that it just sneaks into your playing automatically when you play, because it feels so good. I love that sound of that. And once you are, you're getting control of this, you can start playing every note you play with a pinch harmonic. So right? So you get that sound all the time, which is really when you have mastery over it. But so this is the process. And the last thing I want to say is that multiple string pinch harmonics is a matter of doing it in a stroke. You still have your PC bone anchored there, but then you go down like. Right? And try to get the effect. And that's also a matter of experimenting and feeling your way to getting exactly the same pick stroke all the way down. So don't be discouraged. You just have to close your eyes and then just mastery over one string, and then you can go for multiple strings, right? So it's a fun process because the result is amazing, right? And then you can start playing that CC top sound. Right? So have fun with it.